Donald Trump is taking some heat after responding to a question about the U.S. potentially needing a Muslim database. But Trump now says that's not what he meant. And just moments ago, Donald Trump went on the record to clarify.
I want database for the Syrian refugees that Obama's going to let them if they come in. But they've already started coming in, Kimberly, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's a Trojan horse, and plenty of problems are going to be caused.
So the refugee crisis stealing everyone's attention from the campaign trail to Capitol Hill. Former Florida Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Allen West goes on the record tonight. Colonel, always a pleasure to have you. And I want to ask you, what you think about Donald Trump's latest comments about a Muslim database. And of course, you heard his interview on this program earlier moments ago. Your thoughts?
Well, it's good to be with you, Kimberly, and I have to tell you, I'm not going to fall into the normal situation of someone yelling squirrel and go chasing and looking after it. I really don't care what Donald Trump said, and I don't want to be part of a media cycle that will, turn this into some great big catastrophic statement. What I'm more so concerned about is that we have the dueling banjos of Islamic terrorism going on. Last week, Friday, we had ISIS with the horrific attack that they conducted in Paris, and now a week later we have Al-Qaeda with this horrific attack that they have done in Mali. I think that the most important thing we need, Kimberly, right now are adults who will sit down and read the 1991 Muslim Brotherhood Strategic Objective, the explanatory memorandum that was written by Mohammed Akram. It was discovered in a 2004 FBI raid in Northern Virginia, and it outlines every single thing that the Muslim Brotherhood wants to do here in the United States of America. We should declare them a terrorist organization, and every single organization that was named in that document should be, expelled from the United States of America. They should be shut down. And so I am looking for someone that has a strategic perspective and understanding the right type of policies that precludes the Islamic Jihad from operating as a covert or stealth manner, and then also the overt manner that we see happening right now.
Okay, so and are you hearing that from anybody, from any of these candidates? And if not, what are your specific steps that you think the president, if you were president of the United States, what would you do to combat this radical Islamic terror and jihad that we're seeing?
Well, first of all, the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, is not going to do anything, and the enemy realizes this. So we're going to have to limp along for the next 14 to 15 months because he believes his strategy is working. The first thing is you have to seek out denial of sanctuary for this enemy. We know that this Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb has been operating and has an established sanctuary in northern Mali. We should have been working with the French to go in and eradicate them, and now we see what is happening. Just the same with ISIS. We are now finding out that 70 to 75% of the targets that our pilots acquired over in Syria and Iraq were denied by the Obama administration. 8,000 airstrikes since August of 2013. That's about 10 to 15 a day. That's not a dedicated air campaign. We need to be able to bring all of the strength and might of the United States of America and our allies, Egypt, Jordan, the Kurds, and also now we see our European allies against this enemy. We should be looking at invoking NATO Article 5 because one of our allies in NATO has been attacked. But that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're doing. And so I could care less about a Muslim database because that has no impact on the situation that we're dealing with right now.
All right. So you want specific strategic steps. And would you also, Colonel, if I may ask you, then do an increase of boots on the ground in terms of people to advise, to help to get real-time intelligence, including special forces and special operators?
Well, this is the thing that everyone needs to understand. I'm sick and tired of hearing these politicians trying to tell the military how many numbers of troops you need. What you need to do is turn to the military strategic planners and tell them the effects that you want to have achieved. There's a big difference between saying degrading, defeating, and destroying. So that's the first thing. They need to have a tutorial on that. Right now, what we need to be doing is defeating ISIS. We need to interdict and cut off its flow of materiel and support. Finally, we're going after their oil trucks, which is something we have not done. We've allowed them to have increased revenues. We need to defeat their ideology and their propaganda, Kimberly. And when you talked about words having a meaning, this is not about radicalism. This is just about a militant Islamic theory and ideology that if you read the Quran, you will understand where it comes from.
Yeah, we got to choke it to death. Colonel West, always a pleasure having you.